Today we're making a dish that's super easy to make but can go wrong quite easily. This is the classic Roman dish, Cacio Pepe. There's a couple of different ways you can make it, and I'm going to show you the easiest way that works for me every single time. Now for this dish, technically there is only 3 ingredients, but there is 2 other ingredients that we do need, and I'm going to classify those as ingredients, so this recipe needs 5. What we're going to need is some spaghetti, cracked black pepper, Pecorino Romano cheese, salt, as well as pasta water. The salt and the water don't usually get included, but they are ingredients for this recipe.
Now the first thing to do is boil our water, and this is a smaller amount of water, that way we can get more starch in there, and place a lid on to speed up the process. For the cheese, we want to use Pecorino Romano. You can use Parmigiano Reggiano, but Pecorino is a lot stronger and is the traditional cheese used in this recipe. The weight for this is 120 grams, roughly 1.5 cups, and don't use the store-bought stuff, you really need to grate this yourself. For the pepper, we need about 60 to 70 cracks on the pepper mill. You can use roughly 1.5 tablespoons in a mortar and pestle and just break it up nice and fine. And we're putting this into a pan that has no oil, just completely dry. When the water is at a boil, remove that lid, just being careful of any escaping steam. Season to taste. We're not going to season it like ocean water, but we do want a bit of salt in there. And then drop in about 350 grams or 12.3 ounces of spaghetti. You can use other pastas, but spaghetti is more traditional. Mix that around and then cook this for 2 minutes, less than the packet instructions. We can then place the peppercorns over a medium heat, toast these for about 2 minutes, getting that nice flavor, getting all those aromatics out of it, and we don't want to burn this, so just go nice and easy. If it gets too hot at all, just turn it off the heat or turn the pan down to low. You should have something that looks like this. When the pasta's cooked, remove it from the heat, turn the pepper pan down to low, and then we're adding in about 2 to 2.5 ladles of that starchy pasta water. When you have the water safely in the pan, we can increase the heat back up to a medium high and bring that water to a simmer. Make sure you scrape all of the peppercorns that may have stuck around the side of the pan, and then we're going to simmer this for about 2 minutes to get that nice fragrant aromatic starchy pasta water. There is another method that you can do, is just adding the starchy water, the cheese and the pepper into a bowl and whisk it all together and then add it to our pasta later on, but I like to do it all in the same pan. So once you have that starchy water cooked down for about 2 minutes, we can introduce the pasta, and you can bring along a little bit more of that starchy water as well. At this stage, I recommend turning the pan off, and we're going to use the residual heat that's in that spaghetti as well as the pasta water to cook and melt our cheese, and then we're going to add all of that cheese in. At this point, we want to work quickly and obviously with that heat off, and make sure all of that cheese is completely melted through. This is the part where it can all go wrong and that cheese clumps up. But if you've grated fresh cheese yourself, you won't use the store-bought stuff, and that does have an anti-caking agent in it, which is going to potentially make everything clumpy. Now once all of that cheese is mixed through, everything's melted and we have no clumps. That was the hardest part over. It's now time to use the excess starchy water to adjust the consistency to our liking. Now there isn't really a right or wrong answer here, it is really to your own liking, so add as much or as little as you like. Mix it all through, and if you find that it's not mixing 100%, you can just turn the pan onto a low heat and help reduce it slightly. All we're looking for is that nice creamy emulsion with the pasta water and the cheese. Serve it up into bowls. This recipe will easily serve 2 people. You could probably get a 3rd person out of it depending on the size of the portions. We're going to garnish this with even more Pecorino Romano. The amounts are completely up to you. And of course, even more cracked black pepper. I ended up using another 15 cracks worth. This then leaves us with this easy, this quick and delicious Cacio Pepe, and I cannot wait for you to try it.
With everything said and done, there's only one thing left to do, and that is we can then dig in. It's everything you want from a Cacio Pepe. It's creamy, it's peppery, that pasta's nice and al dente, and it's very cheesy as well. Of course, make it a couple of different methods if you wanted to, but I just showed you the easiest way for me. You can do it off the heat and just do it in a bowl beforehand, but to me, this is the easiest method, and I really hope you enjoyed it.